repeated that Dababy said was so quickly associated with like the gay community?
I don't know, but I think they bring that up because the DJ over the mic.
Oh, I think it was the sucking dick thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like dude sucking dick in a parking lot. Like there were so many things that was.
I have a question to the parents out there that support Boozy and I would say Boozy because I don't think Dave Chappelle ever said anything left like Boozy did or Baby.
I thought the whole thing with Dave Chappelle was like trans people. I thought they were like outraged by like a trans joke or something because I thought he had said something about like violence against like trans people. Like that's why I thought like all of this was researched. Maybe that was like an old special, so that's not like are they talking about a new special or something?
Basically, what's been going around is that he's saying Baby shot someone in Walmart and no one cared about that, but because he said something about the gay community, everyone's in the rampage. My response to that is, are we forgetting what he said exactly? Because I was watching it. We were watching it. We literally were watching. We literally heard it verbatim for ourselves.
Yeah, people love to
and it's
like
stuff.
What?
Everybody wants to rant and rave about these imaginary Gen Z internet warriors that are always trying to cancel people. We can't do shit. I'm talking to a camera in my room. I don't have the power to do shit. But what I will say is I'm definitely going to speak about things that is fucked up.
Why do y'all keep bringing up the gay community when at the end of the day, what people really was mad at was the fact that he said people with HIV or AIDS will die in 2 to 3 weeks.
That's the internal or external homophobia. It's like you say HIV or AIDS and it's automatically gay people. Like, first of all, personally, I want to say like I didn't even like know like the historical like context of like the gay community with AIDS and HIV. Like in school, I took a class in college that we addressed, or not we addressed, but it was an LGBTQ culture course, and we did talk about it obviously. But it's so interesting to me like how these narratives get so like mainstream or get so like why they like socially accepted. It's like it must be like a whole like household thing. No, I don't remember growing up and like talking about AIDS, HIV. 1, I don't really remember it. 2, if they did, I don't remember them saying like, oh, that's a gay person disease. Like I can't speak towards that.
Me either.
So like that's why for me it's just so. I have dark humor, so I say comical, but it's just like sad in itself as well. Like how that comment that you just like repeated that Dababy said was so quickly associated with like the gay community.
I don't know, but I think they bring that up because the DJ over the mic.
Oh, I think it was the sucking dick thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like dude sucking dick in a parking lot. Like there were so many things that were problematic with what was said. And it's just like so much misinformation and ignorance and X, Y, and Z. So like that's why it's important if you're going to choose to be someone who speaks
ignorantly all the time, which Dababy does. We all know this is probably why a lot of us like him musically. But
I was gonna say like if your preferred way to get across to people is to make music, do YouTube videos, constantly on social media, just put yourself out there in that way, how can you then not think about the things you say and do and present yourself as? Like, no, I'm not saying everyone needs to have some type of marketing course background or whatever the case may be, but it's just like, come on now.
You're not dumb. You're not dumb. Like
you think you're not supposed to be held liable for the things you say, portray, and X, Y, and Z.
And these are people's marketing strategies. Do you understand? Don't ever underestimate these celebrities and their publicists and all these things. I wouldn't say I've been studying, but I have been very into the industry for a very long time.
most of the things that come out in media are set up.
Because people are rolling out a clothesline, or rolling out a new album, or rolling out a new collab, or rolling out a new sponsorship deal, or there's always something, a new TV show, or something like that.
I'm not going to front. Even people that I go hard for do it too.
The difference between them and the little Boosie and Dababy and whoever else is they're not exploiting the communities or races just to get more album sales or something like that.
Like they're literally putting themselves, like when I say themselves, like the communities they identify with or currently reside in, and like they're using it more as a representation platform versus like, oh, let me just put something to bait and draw in attention, whether it's negative or positive, because usually when people do things to try to seem positive towards a community that they personally don't identify, it's for those same reasons. Like it's like when it's election season, like everyone is for everything during election season, and now you're
you're crying about what's going on, okay? And it's like,
what did you expect?
Yeah, this insanity.
do want to say is like, the reason I feel like y'all should just mind the business that pays you is because a lot of people commit suicide over the things y'all say. And we just went through we are still going through a pandemic. I don't know why I keep saying we just went through, but we are still going through a pandemic where I've been literally reading comments, articles, all that, where people are saying that people are still dying. Regardless if you can see that or not, everything is still going on. So for you to attack a group of people for what, 3 niggas that don't do nothing for you, and don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan of Dababy's music. Sometimes I'm a fan of Boosie's music. It's a hit or miss for me. And Dave Chappelle, we all know he's a legendary comedian. That does not mean that
They can't be held responsible. Exactly.
people do commit suicide over things that has been said over the years like that. Whether it's from their parents, their friends, they overheard from their parents or their friends or teachers, associates, stuff like that. For some people, if they are not being accepted or loved in a way that they feel like they need it, they're literally thinking, what is the point of me being here? And I'm saying this because I've thought these thoughts. I don't speak on everything I go through, because when I speak on little shit all the time and no one comes to my defense, no one asks me if I'm okay, no one does anything.
Like, when does it draw the line from being performative to like you actually being genuine? I feel like that's what I personally always think about. On top of just the wall that I have in general, I now have to have like this mental, I guess, I don't even know, mental filter of like, oh, are you just performing right now to like kind of make sure you do your checklist? Like, oh yeah, I want to be an ally, or are you like genuinely there for me? Because I want people to stop feeling like they have the right to speak on someone's sexuality. Like, unless that person's trying to get at you, why do you care? Like, genuinely, like, someone please tell me.
I personally think that's homo in itself. Especially if you're talking about Lil Nas X or somebody and you a whole dude. Like, I personally feel that's really homo, because he ain't doing it for you. Oh, I didn't like the demonic things he did. I still don't support that video or that song. To this day, I have not played it at all or watched the video. But when you go and you listen to his album, you can hear why he trolls, why everything has to be a moment for him, and why he did the whole fake page thing. And it's really because of the industry. Everything has to be a big thing. Everything has to be a publicity stunt, or you ain't gonna get likes, or you ain't gonna get engagement that you really want in order for you to boost up your followers. Like we've been saying, people have been becoming rich or famous or even wealthy off of content.
A lot of negative content.
I get it. It's where the money is. I get it. But at the same time, do we have morals? Like, do we have respect for ourselves? Like, especially the ones that be like, oh, I'm God's child, they're not Christian.
I just be wondering, like, what God? Like, I need to know which God you're serving.
Like,
or don't know.
Come on. Either you're spreading hate or you're spreading love. It's either or. And that's why I feel like I approached my statement that I made on my Facebook the way I did. I don't want to be adding to this hate situation that's going on these days. I'm trying to heal, period. I didn't go through all of what I went through to still be going through it. So many people have died. And we're still speaking much that really don't matter. Today, gay people does not affect your check. Whether you want to believe that or not,
Once I that check, then you better get in line, buddy.
Why would you want to mess up your own money? And that's my whole thing about this whole cancel culture thing. People want to be mad that they're getting canceled or feel like they should get canceled. I feel like people should get canceled because everyone has to eat. You can't be mad.
I feel like it should be accountability culture.
Exactly.
It is very telling of just American culture. Like, there's no accountability everywhere.
Do we see it in the medical industry? No. Do we see it in politics? No. Do we see it in the education system? No. Do we see it in parents? Maybe.
But you see, like, there's no accountability. It's not like they teach it in class. Then they just threw social media in our faces and now everyone's addicted. So, in a way, I think that's also why we tend to, like, have a lot of grace or benefit of the doubt. Just like when they say common sense isn't common, accountability is not common at all.
At all. Both aren't at all. What anything else to say? Oh, I do. I have 2 things to say. We're going to end it with what I have to say about what happened. For all of you that support this Boosie thing in the whole Joe scene in his movie with the 2 gay men, just shows that it's wrong. Y'all say these things to then exploit our ways and just our community in general.
It's okay for like the predatory gay narrative to be out there, like, oh,
I was in jail, I dropped the soap, or I was in jail and this person came up on me.
whatever the case is, like you ... Not, I don't make these stories, but we've seen like where the camera like fades to black and we're like left in suspense, like, oh, what happened? All of that is intentional.
Yeah. You know, even when it comes to women, don't get me started with Sukiyana and her whole vag eating video, and she's in a whole relationship where they're gonna have kids and everything. Like, y'all accept that, but Lil Nas X didn't even do anything that extreme.
Well, yeah,
And
he gave
yet-
the devil a lap dance.
Bro, you seen the Sukiyana video?
No, I was just saying that to say like, oh, he gave the devil a lap dance and Sukiyana got girls eat each other out of it. So I'm just saying like, which one is the worst one? I guess it's up for debate.
Oh, that's why I was going. Y'all want to be worried about your children when it comes to gay people, but you're not worried about your children seeing porn at a young age. You're not worried about your children seeing people do drug at a young age. You're not worried about when y'all smoking around your children. You're not worried about drinking 24/7 around your children. Child abuse,
Emotional neglect,
that goes on in families. All of that things. Y'all don't speak on none of that shit.
I don't know if it was Boosie or someone was like, oh, like, well, they were just saying like, I don't know if I would expect.
Oh, it was a little Boosie Breakfast Club interview.
Long story short, it was just saying
She is very fearful and does not want her own son to be gay.
I think, if I'm wrong, apologies, but to my knowledge, she was, because I know she was like part of the LGBTQ community in like body, like yes, she was feminine looking, but I'm like.
But that's what drag queens do though. Like they dress up, they don't.
Oh,
look
so you're
around.
saying? Oh yeah, I also forget that drag queens and trans should not be conflated. So that is on me. I'll take accountability for that. But it was Boosie who was like, because I was bringing up the fact that he was like how he will do everything in his power to like steer. I'm not sure if he was just talking about his daughter, but like his children in the straight direction. And for me, it's very comical that parents think that they have that much control over their children. Like, I don't know what it is that like makes parents think that they really can like influence their offspring to that extent. The only thing you may be able to do is just have your child be that disconnected with who they truly are internally, or just hide that from you that much that you'll never really know them, and then who knows what type of like life experience or things that will happen to them because of that. Would you rather that, or would you rather embracing who they just are as a person and then just loving them?
Personally, as long as my child's not out here cutting up people like chicken wings and frying them up and shit like that, like
doing mass shootings, poisoning,
there's people really out here doing crazy stuff, and the parents are like
sex trafficking,
wild stuff, harvesting organs, all that. Like as long as you're not into no freaky deaky stuff like that, I love you. But when you start doing that, I'm like, oh, stop, we gotta put this.
I don't know what she wants to say. We're still gonna love you, but we're probably still gonna put your ass in prison or
You
in
gotta get the
asylum
jacket.
or
You gotta get the
something.
jacket, bro. We gotta get wrapped up.
Because I don't know what to do with you past. Like, that is something I know I can't further help. That is so insane.
It's comically insane.
Yes.
I totally agree with what you said, because he literally said if his daughter ends up being gay,
He'll never accept a marriage or something.
he'll disown her because she can't take on his legacy. All this ignorant talking just to get a like, in my opinion, is just to get a like. Do I personally feel like some people do really feel internally how they express externally on the internet? Yes, I do. But most of the time, I think people just say things for likes or share things for likes. Like, I literally was in a relationship with a whole person that did that. And I'm saying, oh, it didn't really happen. I just told my friends that to be cool so they think I did it. That just shows me that you're willing to do anything for your friends.
And it just shows you're untrustworthy, period. Because if you're gonna lie about something to seem cool or trendy or get a like, or whatever the case may be, like, one, that already just tells me you don't have confidence in who you just are as a person. Because if you were confident in yourself, people would feel that and things with that, period. Is that how you really feel? Because that's the question I'm asking. If the answer is yes, then keep it up. Keep being yourself. And I'll know how to act accordingly.
What I want to tell parents out there as well. If your child comes to you with something, all you have to do is move accordingly. And when I say that, I mean support them. Show them that you're going to love them no matter what. And I'm not saying, oh, support them killing someone or support them bullying somebody. I've met plenty of people that told me that they have been, what's the word, emancipated? gay and straight. What you really need to be worried about when it comes to your children is if you're loving them right, if they feel loved, if they're getting the education they truly need and want, if they're feeling supported, not being body shamed, because that's something also that a lot of our families like to do, go around, feel some type of way about it internally. So that also needs to stop. The society is on some new shit.
Every week it seems like to me.
Every week or
I am afraid
that like
You think I woke up one day and was like,
I want to love girls for the rest of my life.
nobody ever said that. We didn't want to know why, because we were never accepted.
So let dumb, dumber, and the dumbest all be together in one basket together, okay? Stupid.
And that's just point blank period. And once you realize that, hopefully you keep researching on that and developing a mindset that will let you be more open-minded instead of one-set-minded, because that's only hurting your family and your children in the long run.
And yourself.
Yeah. The whole thing is like, y'all so wishy-washy. It really irks my mother freaking nerves. Like, to the point where I just want to fall off this earth and you will never find my pin, basically. And it's like, do y'all want your children to feel like that? She was talking about the drag queen, talking about,
I don't want him to be black and gay. Like,
my G.
because there's not black gay people.
Exactly. I am a dark-skinned woman that does not dress feminine and yet still acts feminine. There's probably occasions where I put on a feminine shirt or something like that and been shamed because of it, been belittled because of it, been all these things. Like, I remember one time in high school, like, I was sitting with...
We were having a situationship. Nah, I didn't have a situationship until after I got out of high school.
We were sitting at the lunchroom table and one of the dude sat next to us and basically was like, I bet she has a driver J and she has a whipper J. I mean, this is the things I've had to deal with as a black woman who also doesn't really talk that much. Once somebody comes at a black man is, we're trying to tear down the masculinity in the family, or we're trying to do this, that, and the third. And it's like, no, y'all just believe what media, whatever, y'all feed into that.
Yeah. If you were that self-aware, then you would know regardless of your sex. So when I say sex, I mean whether you have a penis or vagina, it doesn't matter. Literally, everyone has masculine and feminine qualities and traits. Like genetics, that's what makes you a person. Like women aren't just feminine and men aren't just masculine. That is the false narrative that society has projected. Like that's why blues for boys, pinks for girls. That's just what we've been socialized to think. And if science was actually taught to us in the right way, that we're actually informed about how we work internally, then we would know that. We would know that it's okay for a woman to not want to wear dresses and skirts and high heels and shit like that. Like it wouldn't be such a big deal. Or if a man does choose to wear a skirt, that's his prerogative. Like,
but you know, a lot of people don't believe in all that because they have a traditional mindset. Just carrying on your family's old bullcrap over and over and over, next generation. Just because what? We turned out alright.
Who's making this assessment? Like, that's my question. Like,
that's always someone's reply. Our parents are still alive. Our grandparents ate this, and they're still alive, so you'll be good. No, that's not how it works. I've never said, good riddance, like, we don't really need to be friends, right? But at this point, it's like, the violence toward the gay community is just really extinction. It's one thing for Boosie to say, he would drive Lil Nas X and beat him up. There's a whole other extreme of you saying, you would prefer to extinct the whole gay community. And literally, that was the word, the entire or whole gay community before he allows David Poe to be canceled.
Oh! My God! This generation gotta stop, because I'm sitting here thinking like, this nigga typed this. Reread it, looked at it and said, I'ma post this. Nigga, is you stupid or is you dumb?
It's like for somebody you don't even know. For somebody that don't even know you. That just gives you content. Just doing it to do it. For publicity. For his promo of his show. It starts beginning to come to violence. That's where I felt like to speak on it, because I'm somebody that's a part of the gay community, and if you say that you want the gay community to be dead, you're literally saying that you want me dead. And I literally dropped tears earlier typing what I typed. I know that there's probably people within my own family that feel that way about the gay community. And yet, will sit in my face and kiki just because it's me. I literally had women tell me that they only with me because it's me. No, all of that is traumatizing. And just because people don't speak on things doesn't mean that it's not. And we probably don't speak on it because we know you're just gonna excuses yourself out of it, or some bullshit ass reasonings. I.e., not saying the dudes. I reacted and said, "Thank you for expressing this," and I unfriended him on IG and on Facebook with no problem. What he did, he watched all my stories, including the one of the post about him, which I didn't. Like I said, I didn't add him in it or anything like that. 3 hours went by. I done interacted with people on Facebook about it, or I didn't post it about others after it, and yet you then wait this whole time to respond with,
"It's not that deep. It's really about cancel culture and supporting Dave Chappelle."
It's like people not understand that I could react in a totally left way, but because I'm in a state where I'm not willing to give anybody my energy, I want to put that back into myself. Like in our channel, I'd rather put energy into that instead of spreading hate. Once you put that out in the universe, that's what you're attracting. For me, you were better off not saying anything at all. You were better off not replying and just leaving it as us not being friends anymore. But the fact that you went and replied in the first sentence you wrote was, "It's not that deep."
That's that typical NIGGA shit.
Like I said before, y'all really don't care about sounding dumb as heck.
Or it's like, it's okay to minimize other people's
feelings,
but you being bent up about the possibility of Dave Chappelle being canceled was okay to make statements like that.
Like, you know what? If he said it, stupid, whatever, just let him look dumb, okay? Because they're two totally different dumb things. And if anybody piggyback and say, "Oh, he's so right," they dumb too.
Y'all are willing to eradicate a whole community, which involves your race, probably your own family. Y'all would rather us just be silent for the rest of our lives just so y'all can continue. Because that's really what it's all about, right?
What does that say?
When y'all not even taking care of your kids for real though. And when I say that, I mean in every aspect. Financially, emotionally, especially emotionally, physically,
spiritually,
and especially spiritually.
You don't have to be like full-fledged spiritually evolved, but like if you don't even know how you feel about yourself spiritually, then how can you really try to help your kid?
Like, why do you think therapists and psychiatrists need to go to therapy or sessions themselves? Everyone is dealing with something. For you to dismiss someone's feeling just so you can be happy
or comfortable,
and while your own child can't even sleep at night without knowing if my parents have an agenda to keep me a certain way. Do you know how many people out here that there really have been born with both sexes? And y'all so mad about this whole transgender thing going on where hospitals are able to actually do a transplant on children? It's like, if that's what the child is expressing, that they literally do not love themselves because they're one way, what are you're literally gonna say, "It's okay, that will change soon"? You just wanna keep saying that? Until what? Until you find them in their room dead?
Or they run away. Because a lot of like homeless children or teenagers are unfortunately part of the LGBTQ community.
I'm just over this society because at the end of the day, I understand this side and I understand the next side. I understand the next side and I understand the next side. You wanna know why? Because I put myself in their shoes. Until you're able to do that, you shouldn't speak on any damn thing. Especially when it comes to someone's body. Because y'all niggas is the same one out here sporting nail polish and sporting dresses and sporting skinny jeans. When y'all all came at people for wearing skinny jeans. When y'all all came at Young Thug for wearing a dress on his cover. And now these things are trends.
It's like the fake locks too is a little That's,
Don't get me
but
started on that.
these are all subtopics that can be addressed. So if y'all really want to continue,
Oh my god! I thought this was gonna be an emotional video, but I guess I had to collect my thoughts, and you know, like I said, I fought in and out of depression. I think I'm pretty much done with y'all, and let me not say y'all. I'm done with the homophobic people in this world that claim that they're not just because they have family members or friends that are gay. It's like, you're still homophobic, my G. If you can't accept me for who I am all the time, but accept me for who I am part-time, that says a lot, my G. Think about these things. Y'all so stubborn and stuck in your ways about how life should be, how people should be walking, and it's like, y'all don't even do things like, you know, like be a real stand-up guy.
Yeah. Like, everyone wants to be a family person until it's time to actually be there for your family.
Be there for your children.
Dude, I'm still confused as to why there's no accountability. Now I'm just 23 and confused. So, hey, I think that's why I personally am so quick to like try to advocate for children, because it's like,
She is way more than I am.
I don't know, it's just something about them that I still see myself in them in that way. So I'm gonna speak up when necessary, even though I don't have kids.
They say it takes a village to raise a child, and y'all don't really want to be a part of no village. And that's point blank, period. I don't give a damn who I offend by saying that. At the end of the day, I suffered. So don't think because you're in the age of the internet that it can't happen to you. That's what I have to say.
Look at him curse.
And with that, thanks for chopping it up with us. If there was anything we said that
Touched your heart.
Touch your heart.
you agree with, you don't agree with, you want to just, you know, create some
Facts.
dialogue, do it in the comments.
In the comments, whatever you feel some type of way or something like that, like she said, do it. You don't like the video, you like it, subscribe, share, follow us on IG. We'll be in the description box. Hit that notification bell.
And share this with someone you feel like can learn.
Like I always say, you have one life to live, and that's motherfucking yours. You dig? Be a stand-up person. Stand by your words.
Just be willing to say I'm wrong and relearn.
Unlearn the bad shit, learn the good shit.
You will reap what you sow.
Think you got something else to
That's
say?
the blissful life. Bitch. I'm not even doing no this because I'm tight.